Moving to a new country tends to be equal parts exciting and terrifying. However, one thing to consider in the midst of all that excitement, it can be really easy to overlook the things you may not enjoy, things that might be a go, no go for you. But in today's video, after years of me being in Thailand, if I could go all the way back and change anything, what would I do? What were the mistakes that I made personally, how you can avoid them, and that way you're not added to the list, the long, long list of foreigners that try to make the move here and end up packing it up and going home. Let's get into it. How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. It is a lovely, albeit somewhat sticky day here in Bangkok. So with my moving to Thailand anniversary coming up soon, I was thinking about it. I looked back and I'll be honest, when I decided to come here, I kind of just shot from the hip. I was like, this is something I want to do. We're just going to do it. I'm going to think about all the things that I'm going to enjoy and how much I love it. And I'm just going to kind of ignore all the possible problems and the mistakes that can be made with coming to a new country. I had not done any international travel, minus going to Mexico, which doesn't really count if you're from America. And I essentially went from 0 to 100. Looking back, there are some things that I would 100% do differently. Some things that if I didn't honestly end up getting pretty lucky and just kind of, working my way through them, I might have already been home. And a lot of people run into these things and they do end up going home. And a lot of these things will apply to any new country that you're going to. These are all important things to understand, things to have a hold on before you go. And as soon as you land, to make sure you enjoy your time. They are all equally important, but when it comes to the last couple, I think those are the ones I see most often ending up sending people home. So make sure you stick it out. Let's get into it. All right, I have made some notes here because like we mentioned, I think all these things are very important. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss out on anything. I want to give you all the details so you are set up for success. First point, I should have done more solid research into visa options. Not only the options, but what being in Thailand would entail when it comes to visas, immigration, all that stuff, for multiple reasons. One, I didn't really consider the fact that if you are going to be here long term, pretty much no matter what visa you are on, you are going to be dealing with immigration constantly. And not even when it comes to just your visa stuff. If you want to buy a motorbike or there's all types of things where you need to get immigration involved. You are going to be either going down there a lot, spending a lot of the time, spending a ton of time taking numbers, waiting, or you're going to be shelling out extra money to visa agents to get stuff taken care of. For instance, my car recently, I need to get all the registration and everything transferred into my name. Of course, to do that, I need a certificate of residency, which has to come from immigration. So not only do you have to deal with the DMV, you have to go to immigration and get paperwork from them. If for some reason you didn't file the proper paperwork when you got into the country, that's just more money you have to pay, more hoops you have to jump through. So I definitely wish I would have taken some more time to really grasp what that was going to entail. Also, when it comes to the financial aspect of it, yes, up front, it's usually not very much money depending on what type of visa you're doing, but it's constant. It is something you need to include in your budget. Have a good idea of whatever country you're going to, how much you're going to have to deal with immigration, whether it's going to get easier or harder the longer you stay. Thailand specifically, and another angle of it here, things are always changing. So just because you're all good today or you're good for a couple years, you get a system figured out. As soon as you do that, things tend to change. So that is mistake number one. I wish I would have looked into that a little bit more and had a better understanding of how much immigration was very much going to be a part of my life. Now, up next is one that I honestly did not think about at all. And I think it's one of the most important ones you really need to consider if you're moving to any country for that matter. I think it's so important to make a conscious plan of what you're going to do when you arrive in your new country, on how you're going to build your new life there. Everything, you're going to have to start from scratch. You're going to have to rebuild friend groups. You're going to have to make relationships. You're going to have to figure out where you can do your hobbies, or if you're going to need to get new hobbies. I think that is a very important thing, because no matter what you do, a foreigner moving to another country, no matter what, you are going to be kind of isolated, no matter how much you take care of all these things. So on top of that, if you completely neglect the reality that you need to be proactive about doing things that are going to make your new place actually feel like home, you are just going to get even more and more isolated. And it's easy to just get kind of caught up in the loop, doing the same things that all the other expats do. Before you know it, you're just hanging out with people solely because they're from where you're from or they look like you, whatever, which is another point we will get into a little bit later when it comes to building relationships, which is another huge part of being here. But if I could go back, I would like to plan a little bit more about like, hey, these are the things I'm gonna do. These are the places I'm gonna go. This is what I'm gonna do in my free time so I can meet more people or so I can stay busy. I kind of didn't really think about that at all. That's one of those things that's kind of hard to unless you watch a video like this, so good on you. But that I think is a very important one, to just kind of have a plan, lay down the framework of what you're gonna do to really integrate into your new home. Now, another mistake that I for sure made, and thank God I have been pretty blessed with things just kind of working out, but that is not the case for everybody. This is another major one that I see sending a lot of people home, and that is just getting a proper budget together for when you get here. Looking back, I've kind of realized that I essentially made my whole budget plan under all of the best case scenarios, just assuming that it was going to be easy to find a condo in my range, just assuming that visa things or God forbid health things weren't ever going to become an issue and I wouldn't really need to plan around that. If I could go back and do it differently, I would structure my budget much more around the worst case scenario side of things, just assuming that everything is just going to go terrible and making sure you have enough of a budget to cover all of that. And then if things go good, bonus, you saved money. I have seen a lot of people that come here with kind of just a framework with a plan, myself included, and thank God things have worked out for the most part for me. But if you're not planning for worst case scenario, it can be really easy to come here, motorbike accident, or you get cleaned out by some, relationship that you probably shouldn't have been in. So if I could go back, I would definitely change that. Try to think about everything that just might cost you money, or just assume that everything is going to cost a bit more than you think it is. That way, if everything goes to shit, you're covered. And if it doesn't, that's just a bonus. You've got some extra money. That's a big one. Now, this mistake that I made, good on you, because just by watching this video, you are already ahead of it. You can check one off of the list that you do not have to worry about. I wish before I came, I would have done some more research into the things that people dislike about living in Thailand, or any country for that matter. Of course, nowhere is perfect. It can be really easy to think that with the Instagram stories and the YouTube videos that, oh, Thailand is just this perfect place. There's no sacrifices you're gonna have to make. There's no trade-offs. I hope I don't have to tell you. I am confident that you are smart enough to know that is not true. When I was getting ready to come here, I saw nothing but the positives. And when you first arrive, it can be really easy to have rose-colored glasses and you just think everything is great, which will tie into another point we'll get into a little bit later. So make sure you stick around for that. And I could have weighed, hey, am I okay making that trade-off? There are some things that you are not gonna enjoy. Everything in life is a trade-off. You have to choose what's important to you, the things you have to have, as opposed to the things you're okay with not having, because that is definitely gonna be a thing during your time here. There's gonna be some things you are not crazy about. So before you come, I suggest watching some more videos and see what people are talking about that they don't like. That way you can know if you come across something and you're like, that is a deal breaker for me, you're good. Then you don't have to experience it, and you could probably save yourself a lot of money in the meantime. If you can only avoid one mistake that I made from this video during your trip to Thailand, if you can't avoid anything else, I highly suggest you avoid this one. I wish as soon as I got here, I would have spent some more time trying to foster new relationships. This kind of ties back into our point about getting here and being proactive about setting up things in your new life, hobbies, things you can do in your free time to meet new people. I think it is so important, if you are coming to Thailand as a foreigner, or any new country for that matter, that you make an active effort on building new relationships as soon as you land. This is not me telling you to do it like a lot of guys have done, is land in Thailand, essentially marry the first girl that you meet, and then a couple years down the road, you are getting absolutely shafted. Don't do that. We're mostly talking about friendships, even associates, just people that you know. I cannot stress enough, how much having some real Thai friends during your time here will make your life so much easier. I mean, I can't even really, it would take a whole video to explain all the benefits you will get if you have a Thai friend that is willing to help you out with just day-to-day stuff. So I think it is really important to get here, get on that, try to make friends, because of course, building real friendships takes time, right? You have to meet people, you have to spend time with them, they have to know they can trust you, you have to know you can trust them. So I really suggest make a plan, say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to these places, I'm gonna be proactive like this, and try to make Thai friends, whether that means learning Thai or jumping into a hobby that a lot of locals tend to enjoy. Get here, focus on those relationships, because it is gonna be a huge part of your life here, and man, I seriously can't explain how much it's gonna help you in the long run. The thing that I probably see happening most often, the thing that catches most foreigners off guard, and a huge one that kind of just ends up making people say, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm either going to another country or I'm going home, is that when you get to Thailand, like we mentioned, you're excited, you're so ready to be in a new place, it can be really easy to kind of just see everything through rose-colored glasses, right? And that includes the people that you're gonna meet. Now, you'll see tons of content out there talking about how friendly and nice Thai people are, which is absolutely true. But of course, I'm sure you're old enough to know that every place on the planet, there's good people and there's bad people. Especially when it comes to Thailand, I think it's would very much suffice to say, especially when it comes to expats and foreigners, there's plenty of people here that are here for normal reasons, want to learn about Thailand, want to live in a new place. But there's also people who are probably here because for whatever reason, they needed to leave their old country. So when you are meeting people and you're trying to foster these new relationships, it's very important to hold everybody to the same standard that you would back home. Yes, people for the most part are probably going to be different in Thailand than they are in your home country, but you start to see a lot of similarities, right? There's dirtbags everywhere. Dirtbags back home probably act pretty similar to dirtbags here. So don't catch yourself ignoring those signs, those red flags. I have for sure done it. Most commonly, I see this happening with guys that come here and get into relationships super quickly. They just, for some reason, think that, you know, things that are red flags back home aren't necessarily red flags back here. There are people that if you let them, they will take advantage of you. That is not unique to your country. That is not unique to Thailand. That's everywhere in the world. You're gonna have to put yourself out there a bit to make friends, or maybe you're trying to meet your future wife, whatever it may be. Yes, put yourself out there, but always save a little bit for yourself, right? Always have enough of your guard up, because in all reality, I see a lot of guys getting caught out here because you're essentially by yourself. You're on the other side of the planet. You don't have the same support systems that you would back home. You don't have people that you know are in your corner telling you, hey, this person might not be the best for you, you know? So it's really easy to honestly get manipulated. So that is probably the one thing that I see sending people home the most. People come here, they get into a relationship, it ends up really bad, and then they end up jaded about the whole country. Granted, I could not be more happy about my decision to come here, but the transition could have been a whole lot smoother, to say the least. We made it out the other side, but there was times when it was absolutely super, super stressful. And of course, I questioned whether I'd made the right decision or not. But if you're an expat watching this, I would love to hear from you. If you've spent extended time in a country away from home, I would love to hear the mistakes you made, the things you would do differently. Feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'm sure we did not cover all of them, but if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. We've got some great videos lined up over the next couple months. So if you would like to see more from Thailand, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe button is down below. I am sweaty in places that I've never been sweaty in my life. I'll see you guys in the next video.